Hey guys, thanks for watching this episode of Jack the Idiot. But first, I would really appreciate it if you subscribed. It's free and it helps me out and helps me make more Jack the Idiot videos. Anyways, let's go on to the video. Welcome to the third part of the Double Dragon retrospective. Today we're going to be taking a look at some more miscellaneous games. Games that don't really quite fit in anywhere. So with that, let's get started with some Game Boy versions of DD1 and 2. Alright, Double Dragon on Game Boy. We start off with a pretty good rendition of the main theme. Alright. The story is mostly the same, just Game Boy screen, kinda. Oh, this music is bad. Like, why did they make the main theme sound so good, but then in Mission 1, the thing just sound, oh, this sounds so bad. Nevertheless, it's still playable, but it's kind of the same deal as DuckTales on Game Boy, where, like, yeah, it's a fine way to play DuckTales on the go, but if you're at home, just play the NES version. Still, this ain't a bad version of Double Dragon if you just want to play it, on the go. Finally, I can play Double Dragon 2 on the go. Let's start. After the Black Warriors were what? After they were gone, what? So, if it wasn't already obvious, Double Dragon 2 on Game Boy has a totally different story from the original. And when you start up the game, yeah, this looks nothing like how Double Dragon 2 starts. This is a totally unique game in the series that takes place after Double Dragon 2, but I'm assuming before Double Dragon 3. So, let's just consider this Double Dragon 2.5. So yeah, Double Dragon 2.5 plays just like as your standard Double Dragon game, but still, I guess I'm just used to this generation having handheld ports that are just more faithful. But whatever, it's still a fun game, and you should probably definitely play it if you have the chance to. Double Dragon 5, The Shadow Falls. Now this one's a bit different from some of the other ones. That's because Double Dragon 5 actually is not a beat 'em up. It's a fighting game where you fight against another opponent. It's pretty fun, all things considered. The attacks are fun to land, and overall it's a pretty fun game, even though I only played one round, which you're seeing in the footage right here, but I don't want to break the fourth wall. I can't really do many moves, but I think that's my fault since I accidentally turned the specials off. There's a ton of customization with like the characters in this game, and overall, if you want a Double Dragon fighting game on Super Nintendo, this is a pretty good option. But you want to know a funny fact about this game? In the background of the level I'm playing right now, the E keeps fading in and out, but not the other letters. Coincidence? And they said Endgame was the most ambitious crossover ever made. Boy, were they wrong! Battletoads was a game released in 1991, and it's known for being pretty hard, so why not combine it with another pretty hard game, Double Dragon? You get to pick between the Toads and the Double Dragon. However, this is a Double Dragon video, so we'll do Billy. Alright, we went on this moon base, and the game starts. Basically, what this is a Double Dragon game that plays like Battletoads, The enemies are pretty frantic and there's not much room for error. One of the big complaints is that you kind of like, you go like, it kind of in a top-down perspective, kind of like 3D on the SNES, so it can be pretty hard to tell where you are. The enemies come pretty frequently, and you beat them up just like you do in Battletoads. This is definitely a weird game. Also, why are we on a moon base? That is not explained. Like, how could a helicopter get all the way to the moon, and why isn't Billy wearing a spacesuit? How would he have oxygen? Whatever, it's still a really fun game. Only if I had friends to play it with me. Oh well. But what about the Game Boy version? Well, it has the same character select screen. Let's do Jimmy this time. And yeah, this is pretty much the exact same game. Same 3D perspective, well, I wouldn't say the controls are the same. It's really hard to hit enemies in this version compared to the Super Nintendo one. Like, it just doesn't feel as good. This sucks. And that's part 3 of the Double Dragon retrospective. Tune in next time and we'll look at some ROM hacks and bootlegs of Double Dragon games.